All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. It's funny, I used to get a really good variety of viewer requests. At this point, it's basically daily requests for NVOS and TTOO, and I'm telling you, I am so happy to give you guys what you want. All right, so I will cover those two one more time, and then I'm going to throw in AMC on this video as well. All right, so look, there's a couple interesting things to talk about on NVOS, and you know I'll do that after this opening thought section, right? But look, on the positive, I see that we're over the 20 line, right? You can clearly see the orange is under that green line right there, right? I said on yesterday's video I wanted 29 cents. All right, that's actually why I left the line, just to make sure that it was easy to see it and be there. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, really, as I record this, if I'm going to accept this break. And again, there's a difference between break and getting over, right? That's something I've said on a couple different comments, not too many times on the video, but I will stress that here. Like, we're over the line. We for sure haven't broken it. And I think missing 29 cents is probably going to take most of my emphasis, okay? TTOO, look, with TTOO, I have to believe tomorrow's going to be a pretty big day. All right. We are, I mean, knocking on the door of the moving averages and the bottom side of it, not the top side, right? So I would assume we either go back and reestablish dominance on them or potentially lose it tomorrow, okay? And then AMC, man, I'm telling you, the 8 moving average is no joke, all right? It seems like a really insignificant little random green line, but there's a reason why I put a lot of weight on the 8 and the 20, and I always say it always starts with the 8, right? So that's kind of the story with AMC. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We will take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines, as well as the occasional diagonal trend line that you'll see. Excuse me. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? So let's get into it. And again, I think there's a lot, and I'll tell you, on the Discord, there was a lot of discussion with these two stocks, right? So if you're not in the group, I'm telling you, there's a lot of info you're missing if you're waiting for the 1 o'clock video drops, okay? But again, I started the video with it, and I'm gonna, like, it is the main story here. Look, the 20 moving average is something we need to reestablish, okay? Because we've seen it. Great things can happen over the 8 and the 20, all right? But you will always hear me say bad things happen under them, and it wasn't that long ago that we were just dying under the 2 lines, all right? So just don't forget what the reality of the stock was not that long ago, okay? I'm starting to wonder if I should lower this trend line, because in some ways, like, this is a realistic new trend line that we have. What sucks a little bit, oh, look at that. It hits that and that one. That's definitely an insignificant candle, but I think the fact that it did both of those, can I Control Z and undo that? I can't. All right, we're going to leave it there. Screw it. Again, if I wanted to move it up, I would move it back to here, because it was off of that. It was off of that corner right there. I think I'm going to... All right, I'm going to actually draw both. Let's draw both, because there is something to be learned from this, I guess, too. So one thing I don't like is when the trend line loses steepness, all right? So what does that mean? We had a good slope of that, right? I would want the next slope to go even steeper, not start to come down and flatten. I am now losing the trend line, and that's not a good thing, all right? Obviously, this is still going up, and hey, up is better than down or flat, right? But I don't like that my 2 trend lines are this one's worse than this one, all right? And hey, in some ways, there's actually a little bit of a downtrend going right there that could honestly be drawn as well, but I don't think I need to do that for now. I don't want to overkill the lines, but I'm going to delete this trend line. I'll leave it. Throw it in the comments if it's too many lines, and I'll start deleting some stuff. Okay. The one thing I think I will be deleting is the 17. Look, I've been No, let's also leave that too, because I've been calling the 17-cent line kind of worry, and I do think I want that there. So, all that said, what did I just do and what do I think? I'll be honest, I'm still kind of 50-50 on this, all right? And yesterday, I was really honest. This wick right here, like I don't want to say freaked me out, but it was very close to fooling me. That's for sure. I almost bought at 31 and, would have watched it come down, right? Again, that happens. We hit the 32s. And I'm telling you, I thought there were some people, I think it's actually not even that far. I don't think I'm wrong. Give me a second. You would think I would practice that. Right here. Someone got in at 23, got out at 30. I mean, that's money in the bank, right? So there were people that were talking about making moves on the last 2 days. For me, I've got a full-time job. I don't have my finger on the mouse all day. Like, I don't have the ability to get out immediately when needed, right? So all I'm doing is I'm just waiting, all right? There's nothing wrong with waiting, okay? Because waiting, like, it's not like we're playing baseball where after 3 strikes you're out. Dude, you can keep throwing them down the middle for all I care. I'm not striking out and going back in line and waiting for my turn. No, like, I stay at that batter's spot. I don't know baseball well, so hopefully all these analogies are coming out well, right? But, like, there is nothing wrong with taking 17 fastballs down the plate and just waiting for that one that's just a little better than the other 17. You know what I mean? And for me, that means getting over the 8 moving average. All right. One thing I'd been talking about, and I think I talked about it a little bit more right here, was I wanted to get over this orange line, the 20 moving average, so I can move my way up to the 8. Right now, the distance between this 8 and the 20 is getting less and less and less and less. You can see it's coming down, and I imagine it's going to come down again tomorrow, right? Like, I don't know the math behind these. I'm just kind of following the lines, right? The juice from the 20 to the 8 is starting to not feel as good of a squeeze. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm starting to like wonder if I'm even going to enter this until 38. All right, 38 is where I got in last time. 38 might be where I have to get in next time. Because again, I like to use these lines to guide me up, right? And yeah, I liked it from 27 to like 37, right? Rounding. I'm basically adding a dime to a thing that doesn't have that many dimes. Now we're talking about 28 to 34, 35. I think there's still a double-digit percent there. I'm not going to do the math in my head and look bad, right? But it's not that 10 cents on a less than 30-cent stock that I was looking for, right? So again, I talked about criteria on the last video, right? Like, that's kind of my criteria right now. If I can get over all 5 and fly, I'm ready for it. Get me right here, get me over all 5 moving averages, and yeah, I'm ready for it. Otherwise, right now, we're starting to just horizontal cluster, actually. And more so, I'm starting to see this going up, coming down, going up, coming down, going up, maybe coming down, and just kind of just living within these lines, right? So, yeah, I'm still not convinced. I'll be real honest with everyone here, all right? I think, okay, if I was to throw something out, I would say I think tomorrow comes down to 24. Oh, look at that. It's also the bottom of this. Yeah, I think tomorrow comes down to 24, or it finally is able to close at 32 tomorrow. And I'll say this, I am less excited. I'm going to move this line up because I just called the 32, and this will be our little reminder here. But I am less excited about a 32 unless this 8 is able to come under it, and then that close over it means we're over the 8. So hopefully I said that well, right? But again, what we're looking at is an 8 that's sloping down, right? So my assumption is tomorrow we're going to come around here. If we can get over the 8 tomorrow, obviously that's going to change the game, and we're over all 5, and I'll need another day of confirmation still, right? But I'm telling you, I'm still not 100% convinced I saw some news drop today. Let me kind of end it with that on the. So again, it was shared in the group right here. I didn't really look at everything. One of the things that I know I looked at was this swag agreement is still on the way. I think this is the one that I probably focused on the most. And then doing a quick scan, I saw nothing silly like reverse split or this or that, right? So I was glad with any of that. But again, I saw some news drop. I obviously saw the wick into the 32s. End of the day, I keep saying it. My game is the close of the regular hours. We did close over the 20, and normally I would talk about that way, way more. But I've barely talked about it on this video because that's a pretty insignificant one. It is. It was literally just like a toe. Like yesterday, I was joking that we're not in the house, we're standing at the door. Look, I think maybe the left leg is inside the house, but like the right leg and all the like most of everything else is still outside. I don't know. I'm not buying it just yet. I'm not. I'm still seeing a MACD diverge the wrong way. We want the green to go up, not the green to go lower and lower and lower, right? RSI is pretty flat and insignificant. And hey, even today, 44 million shares is a lot for most stocks. We're still at a less than average day, and we've been less than average for the last 5 days too. So, it's a little too 50-50 for me, man. And again, for me, I would rather be paid. Again, this is not a game where it's 3 strikes and you're out. You can literally take hundreds of thousands of perfect pitches down the middle and wait for that 101,000. Just make it the perfect one and make your attack. All right, NVOS. That's kind of my thoughts here. I don't have too much to add. The weeklies actually, look, again, it's still positive. Don't get me wrong. But we're now under this trend line that I've been talking about for a bit now. All right. We're actually almost completely under this full candle. Those are bad things to say, you know. If we actually come down to the 24 number that I thought we might on the low end, we're actually going to eat those 2 full ones. Still over the 8, still over the 20, still over the 50. You know, those are good things. But yeah, this is definitely a day-to-day chart at this point, I feel like. And like I said, get me over the 8 and I'm excited. I've no longer enjoyed the move from here to here, but one more time, you saw it. It was discussed and it happened. You can go from 23 to that's a decent move. You're adding 7 cents right there. That's not bad at all. It's a little more than 20% doing some fast math in my head. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Obviously, if you disagree, I'm not here to like hate on you, right? I think good conversations happen from disagreement, all right? Let's take a look at TTOO. All right, listen, there's a couple things that I didn't mention in the last few videos, and one of the big ones is the reverse split. Okay, I hate reverse splits. That's a very simple thing to start with. All right, doesn't matter what the stock is. Like reverse split is generally death. Okay, there are a lot of people that are still kind of like banking on the fact that there are still multiple FDA submissions in the pipeline. I believe someone said that there's about 5 in the pipeline, all right? Other people have been talking about now that they got this first clearance, approval, whatever word you want to use, now we should start to see some like government contracts, hospital contracts, et cetera, right? All that said, including the reverse split negative side and including the optimistic 5 more approvals and a bunch of new contracts and this and that, okay? All that said, I think the one thing that I prefer to do, and you know if you watch my videos, I'm not here to try to like convert you to the technical analysis way of life, right? But using the 5 colorful lines, using the fact that it's over them or under them and stuff like that, allows me to take all those things that have extreme good and extreme bad consequences, and it kind of lets me, in my own head at least, and knock on wood, I'm pretty good with it, I can at least interpret what the market thinks of all that. Because look, trying to convince me that all the good stuff is better than all the bad stuff and being under the, like, end of the day, you're really only convincing yourself, right? Like, I never use the words buy or sell. I at least really, really do my best. Like, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, all right? And I promise you, telling me things like 5 more submissions and this and that doesn't take away from the fact that we're under the 8 and the 20. Under the 8 and the 20, those two lines doesn't take away from the fact that we were under it yesterday and we're actually even deeper under it today. All right. Doesn't take away from the fact that, like, I have been very, very pessimistic about this 50 moving average line. I was wrong right here. I was wrong right here. Hey, I might be wrong for a third time. I'm only human. All right. I have no crystal ball. I got no idea what tomorrow's going to do. If I did, I would be picking those Powerball numbers every minute, right? Like, I am just a regular dude on this side of the screen. All right. That said, I don't know how many more times this 50 moving average can protect us. All right, I often use the Jenga example. I often use the old don't break the ice game example. Like, you can only hit a thing so many times before it breaks. All right, and we've used it once, we've used it twice. We now need to use it a third time, or finally on the third time, we're gonna drop down here. And I've been calling this 22 line for a bit now. I've been calling it, roughly speaking, around the 5th, if not even a little bit sooner. Where was it? Right here? Yeah, I was actually probably even calling it around the 28th of August, if I had to guess. All right. There's still more things telling me we're gonna come down to 22 than they're telling me we're gonna fly up to 62. All right. I didn't believe this. Let's start from here. I didn't believe this entire time we were going to get over the 20. Even on this day, when the day after went up, and I very, very loudly said I was wrong. Like, this 20 is a no joke line. All right. When you are above the 8 and the 20, beautiful things happen. Once you lose the two lines, you would think that it was such a good line not that long ago, we'll get back over it real quick. It doesn't work like that. If it did, most stocks wouldn't do things like that, right? You can even keep zooming out. Like, this thing, it's been over them before. It's been over them before. It's been over them before. It ended up down here after. You know what I mean? So I am not here to spread fear. I'm not here to, like, I love having the arguments, right? And I use the word argument loosely because it's not like I'm arguing with you or trying to even convince you. Like, I sincerely enjoy the TTOO conversations where people disagree with me, all right? End of the day, I'm trying to take out emotion and hope. I'm trying to use the realities of facts. I know that this is a 29. I got to double this just to get to 60. I got to then add another 50% to that just to get to 90. And I'm still below the dollar threshold for the reverse split, right? You know what I don't normally do? Let's do this real quick. Let's look at the monthly here, all right? So, this is an interesting monthly. All right, so why am I looking at the monthly? All right, roughly speaking, we have until November something. I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea what the date is, right? But we have till November something to hit $1 or that reverse split trapdoor can fall. This is an interesting doji on the 8, all right? And we're close to the end of the month, all right? So this might finish, roughly speaking, looking like this. There's not a lot stopping it from going all the way up here. You can clearly see it. We've fallen from the 8, gotten to the 8, fallen from the 8, gotten to the 8, fallen from the 8, gotten close, fallen, got like the same thing I say on the dailies happens on monthlies and stuff like that too, right? What I'm wondering is if we're gonna let me go a little bit. I normally do the week. Let's see what the weekly tells us, I guess. So the weekly, okay, the weekly has the 50 moving average at 80, all right? And again, just looking at it, that 50's been no joke. Weekly speaking, see, but now I'm also like kind of inferring that it's going to go up when I also somewhat don't believe it's going to go up, right? But, damn, I'm making a lot of assumptions right now, and I'm trying to like wonder in my head what I want to say. So look, let me start talking best case scenarios here, all right? Obviously, best case scenarios, it goes up, 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 up. I've kind of implied I don't believe that, right? What I would hope would happen is before, because between now and October, how many we got? Basically only one more candle. That's going to come right here. So let's just say I'm right for just for sake of argument. And next week we come here to 22 and the candle's right here. All right. Hopefully that would be the bounce point. This 20, we would go bounce up and go up to here. So now we're going to go hopefully 1, 2, 3, because we've done a good 4-week window like that, right? Dude, October, if we do a 4-week window and we're only, but see, hopefully the 50 will be down here-ish. Where's the 100? Yeah, the 100's not going to be coming down anytime soon. I'm trying to okay, let me talk out what I'm doing because I'm not doing it as smoothly as I want. I don't really have a good answer here, but I was trying to guess the timeline. I don't forward guess well. My game is these short discussions, right? I think what's bothering me is the 50 moving average is well below $1. All right. I think what I'm hoping for is the weekly's been moving fast enough to where let's just make a quick move down so that we can make a quick rocket up. I know no one wants to really hear that, but that's actually not too bad a thing. We have to break. Getting over this 82 is a very, 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 very critical thing. Where does that put us on the daily? That's that gap fill right there, if I had to guess. You know, the problem is this thing doesn't gap fill very smooth. We did about half of it, came back, then we did it. Even with this red, like we did it, we come back, like we're still trying to go back to it and pass it. Like I can see that gap fill doing the same thing. I'll be honest, all right? Again, my game is short-term picks, not long-term picks. It seems a little difficult seeing the November line right here. We need a real, it's got a shot. It's I'm not here pretending it doesn't have a shot. There's a little bit of that kind of going on. It's going to be hard, man. Again, I think I wasted too many times being unable to do what I wanted to do, but that November thing scares me. End of the day, immediately it's 22 cents. I feel like I wasted so much time on this TTOO. I apologize. Let me just go to AMC real quick. All right, sorry about that. AMC, look, the simple answer here is 8 moving average is no joke to break. All right, can't do it here. Can't do it here. You know I was optimistic here. I'm not even pretending I wasn't. Couldn't do it. Got close to it. Literally. Day gets over, next day doesn't. Day gets over, next day doesn't. You know what I mean? This doesn't know how to do 2 days in a row, and that's essentially what I keep saying. That's what confirmation is. We don't care about a single day over the line, all right? A broken clock works twice a day, all right? We want confirmation so that we have a signal to believe, all right? At this point, the one thing that actually sucks is I've been saying I would love to trade from the 8 to the 20. I would love to trade from the 8 to the 20. I don't know if I really want to trade from the 8 to the 20 here. I guess it's still a pretty good percentage as I'm looking at the numbers. It's basically going from 8 to 10, rounding, right? That's still a 2, 4, 6, 8. That's a 25% move. So maybe it's worth it. And really, I would not touch this until 230. So, wow, that wasn't even close. 827 to 830, give or take. I'll set an alert for 828. I think 828 is not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad because, like I said, you have a roughly $10 target there. But I will say this. Do I think we're going to get over the 20 moving average? I barely do. I barely do. And the realities of today actually is we went back under it. We're back on the support, and that's an ugly candle. Look at it real quick. The low of the day was 769. The close of the day was a penny above it. Most of the day, everyone was just down a sell. There's more bad here than good for sure. And we've seen it a bunch. We've seen it a bunch where it looks like it's going to go. It looks like these two lines get super close, and then it ends up just going back down. In fact, I'm sure we've seen it on this stock. Look at this. It looks like it's going to get over both of them and just can't do it. It looks like it's going to get back over them, and then it just can't do it. It finally does another third one. I think there's a good shot of that right here. I'm far less obviously I'm less optimistic than this, because this day actually had it over and we were under, right? Even this day right here, I saw it. I saw that we were even with this one. I knew that we weren't over this one, and it actually wasn't enough for me. So AMC has actually been a little bit on my radar, less and less as it keeps failing the 8. And like I said, it's funny, if I didn't make this video, I wouldn't have set the alert, but I was watching the 20 come closer and closer and kind of getting angrier and angrier. I don't know how else to say it. So yeah, I think this is good right here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, you know it. Thank you.